there, Gemini. Welcome to my channel. Hopefully you're all well, happy, healthy, wealthy, abundant. Hopefully you're all good. Gonna start by pulling from this Enchanted Map Oracle. We're gonna try to see what your overall energy is gonna be for the next couple of weeks and through September. Leo season's about to be over and Virgo season will begin soon. 6 planets are in retrograde though, so kind of topsy-turvy in the universe. Alright, so we have slow and steady. The number 12 could be important, or 3 could also mean something to you. I'm going to read it from the book and see what we've got going on for you. What does slow and steady have to do with my Geminis for the next couple of weeks? It says, slow and steady wins the race. Remember the old cliche, slow and steady wins the race? This is a time for easy movement, unhurried steps, and a steady heart. Trust that taking life at a more leisurely pace will give you greater accessibility to your dreams. Slowing down means more contact with the juicier elements of your life. Savor them. Alright. She got the snail on and everything. Slowing things down. Maybe there's something you need to see more clearly, or just enjoying the present. Because we only get the present one time, so we might as well enjoy it. Alright, let's see what's going on for you, my dear Geminis. Let's get some tarot on this. The sun. It's kind of perfect. Being that it's summertime, into Leo season. Maybe you've been hurrying up for a while and it's time to like smell the roses. You could have somebody around you that represents like this King of Pentacles, strong, steady, secure. Either that, or you get, after a heartbreak, you've become more steady, strong, secure. Maybe you need to take the time out to really look at that heartache, because there's a new cycle want to begin for you. With the World card here. What else do we have for my Gemini collective? Alright, let me get a look at this real quick. We could be dealing with a Capricorn. Doesn't have to be. The Capricorn's reading was very similar. There could be somebody around you that brings you a lot of happiness, but because of some sort of hurt, you're like refusing to step into this new cycle that wants to open. You've got the Nine of Wands here, and this could mean that, to me, the Nine of Wands represents that definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. In order to move past this, you've got to realize, like, what part did you play in each one of these wands? Why is it the same cycle? Even if it's been different things that have hurt you, different things that have wounded you, how is it still the same? How, or what kept you on a vibrational level to where you were still attracting the same thing over and over and over? And you could have attracted it in many different forms, right? Like, even if you were the victim of so many things, which is a horrible thing, I understand, it does hurt a lot. But what part did you play? Did you continuously go back to something? Did you continuously go for things that you knew were toxic, or maybe even getting into them off of a toxic behavior that you had, something like that? I see that you want security and stability in your life. You want a new beginning. But in between these things, it's like, I'm happy. You tell the world, I'm happy, I'm stable. but in the center of it, you're still very wounded. There's some healing that needs to be done in order to start this new cycle that wants to open up for you, because you can't go into the world, you can't complete it if you're still stuck at this Nine of Wands, looking at it like, I can't do it. Like, I can't start this new cycle because I'm still going to start it in a place of being overburdened. I'm still going to start it in a place where I'm attracting things to it. That's because, I mean, you can start new things all the time. You can end cycles, but if you don't learn the lessons from each time that you've gone through them and it's stuck on repeat, then how are you going to go into this with carrying this baggage, right? So there's somebody around you that I see look at as like sunshine, happiness, security, or something around you. It could be something that makes you feel stable, secure, maybe even husband or wife material. But you've got some blockages here that need to be faced, and possibly slowing down will help you to look at that. Slowing down will help you to heal it. Slowing down might help you to recognize what you have in front of you. Yeah. So you've got the Empress. This could be a mother figure. This could be you. Very secure, nurturing, stable. But this could also have to do with like a mother wound, because it's right next to it with the Seven of Wands. With the Seven of Wands next to it, it's kind of like, no, it's kind of like every time you elevate, or every time you feel that you've gotten to the place where you're secure and you're happy, people start poking at you. They start trying to trigger those wounds. They try to bring you back down to where you were before. They try to diminish the shine because they can't stand it, because they don't want to elevate as well. And I'm getting strong mother vibes from this. It doesn't have to be. It could be like a mother wounding, something that happened with your mother, that you're easily triggered when people poke at you. Because with the Five of Swords here, the Five of Swords represents that I need to fight, I need to win, I need to make myself feel important, I need to win at all costs, no matter who it hurts in the process, right? And it's all stemming from some kind of pain. And that pain is really, like I said, something that's triggering you, possibly from childhood, possibly from your mother. Either that, or you could feel like, I've completed the cycle of the Empress. I do feel secure. I do feel happy. I am stable. I'm nurturing. I'm loving. But there's still people poking at me, and this is how I react. And why am I reacting like this? I'm reacting like this because of this hurt up here. There's some kind of wounding that's being triggered. In order to, the reason why a wound triggers us, a reason why the wound is brought to the surface. It's brought to the surface so that way we can heal it. So that way we can move into new cycles. But if we continue to put ourselves in situations, it's like going into a yard with a dog that you know bites. Why are you going to keep going into that yard? And if you do go into that yard, you better have some protection, right? You better go in it. And so this may be what this is. I know the dog's going to bite, so the next time I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do that. But it's a rabid dog. Like, no matter what you give it, unless you give it, like, something to put it down, the dog is going to bite every time. You see what I'm saying? Or it's going to trigger this, or whatever. But, there's healing that needs to be done in order to get to this world. And that's what I said. With the Five of Swords here and the Three of Swords, that equals the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is basically whatever this wounding is that's making you react, is keeping you stuck in a prison that you've made for your own self because you refuse to heal. There is something that needs to be healed. And sometimes we go through life and we don't even realize that we have these things, and we try to put it on other people. We try to say like, oh, I'm happy, I'm doing good, I don't do that. I don't know what you're talking about, but I do feel like whoever the collective is that I'm reading for needs healing. Because if not, if they do not heal this, It's going to keep them trapped in their head. It's going to keep them stuck in some vicious cycle of either feeling like they need to lie, cheat, steal, fight at all costs, like do stuff to try to manipulate the system without having to actually do the healing. I do see the sun is available to you. I do see there's energies around you that are supportive, energies around you that are stable, secure, positive. And if this isn't you, like I said, don't attach to it. I just see somebody that it's like almost fights against the healing because it takes too much time or it takes too much effort. In order to get this brand new cup of love, because a lot of you could, all you want is for somebody that understands you, somebody that loves you, somebody that cares enough to take the time to, be a strong, stable place in your life. And with the slow and steady, I'm also getting a very hermit energy as well. It's like I do see like you may have started the process of healing because you want to be more secure, you want to be happier, you do want to go into this new cycle, and this could just be the triggers that come up along the way to see if, like, have you healed or is there more healing that needs to be done? Are you ready for this brand new cup of love? Because this brand new cup of love only comes after healing. You can't get a pure cup of love if you haven't healed the heart space. I mean, you can get a lot of dirty cups of water. I mean, I'm sure that they would come along. But if you keep moving and keep turning and everything else, you're not even going to realize it's dirty. I mean, if you're dirty yourself, if you're giving yourself the least, if you're giving yourself the dirty water, if you're filling your cup with, I'll never do better, I can't do this, it's too hard, this, that, and the other, then your cup's going to be dirty too, and that's going to attract dirty. But we've got a brand new ace here, and we've got the sun here. There's something that is almost perfectly aligned for you, but it's in the middle of some kind of process right now. And like I always say this, if it's easy, it's not worth it. And what's worth it is never easy. It takes work. It takes a lot of time to invest, to figure out what we can do better. Because once we know better, we do better. Or we should anyways, So let's see, what is this sun about? Let's get some clarifiers. Let's see. Okay. Alright. So it looks like there's something you've been manifesting and trying to heal. Could be something that you've been waiting for a long time. Something that will lead you to the Four of Wands with the Three of Wands and the Ace of Wands. That Four of Wands is that 1111 card, that sturdy, that stability. And I see that it's trying to come in. I see that it's like knocking at your door. And I think that because it's knocking at your door, that's what's bringing up these other things. Because it's like, are you sure you're ready? Because a lot of times if you're not ready, you're going to run from the things that are good for you, right? So, like I said, the sun comes in, and if you've got some shadows, the sun's going to illuminate those shadows, and you're going to have to face them, right? Sometimes the light scares certain parts of ourselves because we know that if we step into it, we might not do it correctly. But this is definitely something that you've been wanting, something that you've been working towards, something that you've really manifested into reality, and it can have the capabilities of being, like I said, that Four of Wands, because the Ace plus the 3 equals the 4 with the star next to it. It's something that, like a wish that you made a long time ago, something that you've really wanted, something that you've manifested into reality. But are you ready for it? Is what I'm seeing here is like this is basically what you're asking yourself, and you kind of go back and forth between it over the next couple of weeks. But by the end of it, I do see you're going to have this brand new cup of love. Are you ready for it? Have you healed enough? And with the star and the Four of Swords, I do see that you might be. But there might be a couple of times along the way that you're going to be like, this hurts. I don't know if I want to look at that. I don't know if I want to take accountability for that. I don't know if I want to fix that. Let's see, what is this King of Pentacles about? Yeah. Alright. Alright, so to me this is saying, with the Two of Wands, do you want to stay overburdened the rest of your life? Do you want to embrace this King of Swords that you come by so naturally, being the Gemini, King or Queen of Swords? Gender is not specific. It's going to be a choice. Are you going to stay stuck with this King of Swords, overburdened, overworked, cranky? Or are you going to move to something more stable, secure, and committed? Because, I mean, you can do it however you would like to do it. King of Swords are strong. I get it. But they are kind of cutting. Their heart is normally kind of cold. But you know what? That cold brings out a lot of burdens. So are you going to make the decision to walk towards something that's more secure? Something that's more grounded? Maybe grounding that lofty thought process, maybe to pull you out of your head, something to ground you into the ground? Or are you going to stay overburdened? It's going to be your choice. But I do see that you want something more stable. And it looks like you're trying to put in the effort to get there. But you might have to be poked at a few times along the way to get there. Let's see, what is this Three of Swords? Oh. Okay. Okay. What this is telling me is, you see this Three of Swords with this Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is basically not wanting to look at the pain, right? This is basically saying, I'm not doing it. It's too much. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to feel it. Get it away from me. Anything that triggers this or makes you feel this, nope. Not going to look at it. Don't want to see it. I keep my eyes closed. It's like somebody that like tries to show you something you don't want to see, and you're like, no, 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 I don't want to look. I don't want to look. The healing. This is what you need. In order to be able to look at it, you have to look at it in order to heal. If you put the 2 plus the 4 together, that equals a 6. And not just the 6 of Wands, because the 6 of Wands is victory. The 6 of Swords is moving into a calmer state, moving into peace, moving into serenity, moving into divinity. Because in the 4 of Swords, the angel is watching out over you. You're never alone. Don't feel like this pain is going to be so much that it's going to break you. It won't. I promise you, you are watched over. It's okay to look at it. It's the only way you're going to get to the victory. It's the only way you're going to get to what you've been promised. I know you're worth it. And you've got to know you're worth it. And something tells me that this wounding that you've had for so long is something that was made up and that was told to you. And it's something that you've lied to yourself a long time about, because the 3 plus the 4 equals the 7 of Swords. And to me, that's your brain telling you you can't do it. You have to be sneaky. You have to hide. You have to overanalyze things. You have to make a plan. You know, it's your brain tricking you, because with the 3 plus the 2 equals the conflict. That's why you're in conflict. You're in conflict because you refuse to look at the pain. And that's just, I mean, you can keep doing that if you like. But I do see a Gemini that wants to have victory, that wants to heal those parts of themselves. I see that you are ready to move into this new world, and you're ready to have victory over it. You're ready to embrace this new passionate beginning that's coming your way. Something that's going to bring in stability and security. But the choice is ultimately up to you. And you've probably been moving fast for a long time. You've probably been moving at a pace to where you know what you need to do, but you're like, I'm too busy to do it. I don't want to see it. I don't have time to heal. It's time to go slow, and it's time to go steady, because that's where you're going to find it. And then I have the Queen of Cups, the World again, and the Eight of Wands. You might get a love message that comes in that creates an offer to move into something new. Maybe even a new cup of love. Something that you love dearly. Something that wants to have a new beginning. Might be rushing towards your energy. But it's almost like as soon as this opportunity comes up, somebody says, like, I love you. I want to be with you. You're the perfect person for me. Automatically it turns into, I'm going to go hide on the frickin' moon. I can't do this again. It's that defense mechanism that says that you are not enough. And this is the part that needs to be healed. So like I said, the opportunity to do it is all over. But it's like as soon as you get to the place to where it comes towards you, you're like, I'm going to the moon. F this, I'm out. Exactly. This is the end of a very painful cycle. And I've got the match to the Queen of Cups, which came out right here, right next to it, the Knight of Cups. There's something that needs to die out. And what needs to die out in order to accept this cup of love that's coming in is this painful cycle. It's time to lay these thoughts down. It's time to put death to it. It's time to look at these swords that have been stabbed in your back over and over and over again. Feel them. And then take them out, die, and be reborn. And it's not actual death. It's basically just sometimes when we have to face this many swords that we've been having in our back for so long that we just refuse to look at, that when we have to lay them down, it's very painful. Sometimes it does feel like death. It does. But you know what? That's where your power lies, is on the other side of this. And I know you can do it. It says you can do it. But it's time to quit holding on to it. Because a lot of times that's what we do. We hold on to it because that's who we are. That's all we know. That's what's made us into the people that we are today. But do you want to be that person? Or do you want to start new with this Fool? I mean the Magician. Sorry, not the Fool. Because you have the power to overcome this feeling of feeling left out all the time. You have the power to overcome this unworthy feeling that may have stemmed from something very traumatic that happened to you. It's just going to take some patience. It's going to take some healing. It's going to take you realizing that you're worth taking the time to put it together. It's worth the time to blend it. You have the power within you to overcome this. And no, the process doesn't happen overnight. It just doesn't. It's slow and steady wins the race. Six of Wands. Ace of Cups. You have the power within you. You just got to slow down. You can't hurry up healing. And maybe that's what's happened is you're like, I'm healing. I'm doing this, and this. But you're not taking the time. Because I know the place that I have found the most peace is in the still places. The stuff that moves slow, like the water, the waves, the rain, the thunder, the still of nature, just the wind blowing sometimes, the simple, quiet things. That's where I find my peace at. And you got to when you're in those places, you have no choice but to sit there and go slow and steady. You can't just do a bunch of stuff in the middle of it. The only way you're going to enjoy it is to just sit there, because otherwise you don't even notice it. Yeah, your pain has brought out a lot of toxicity, and it could have to do with love, and that's probably why you're scared of it, because there's some kind of toxic thing that happened to you in the past. Could have to do with this Ten of Swords. It could be that somebody from your past that has hurt you, somebody that is very toxic, is trying to come in and offer you love, but you know that they're toxic. They've hurt me. Either that, or they trigger something in you that brings out some toxic side to you because you've been hurt. And I'm not sure what that's about, but I do know that I see, like, as soon as you feel triggered, and what I'm seeing here is it has to do with love and something that was painful that happened to you, possibly when you were young. With this page here, something happened to you, and you've been bound to it ever since. And every time that somebody tries to offer it to you now, you get into this mode to where either you back off or you're going to win at all costs. It's a game, it's a competition. I'm going to win when it comes to love. And that's that's what needs to be healed. That's what needs to be worked out. Whatever it is that's triggering you is what needs to be healed. And what I'm seeing here, it has to do with love. It has to do with, could have been a mother, it could have been a spouse, it could have been anything. It could have been the neighbor down the street. I don't know what wounded each and every one of you, but it has to do with something that stems around love and heartache. Yeah, you're going to have to walk away from, maybe you've just lived in a land of options, and the land of options is great. It's great to have a lot of options. It really is. But if you stay there too long, you realize that the cups don't really hold what it is that you want. They're not as pure, they're not as good as you would like them to be. And eventually you're going to have to walk away from them, because your happiness doesn't lie in the 7, it doesn't lie in the 8. That's why the guy walks away in the 8, because he's going towards the 9 and the 10. He's going towards his own happiness. His happiness is not here. And it's like you're fighting for something where you're not even happy for it. Like, why not walk away with it? Walk away from it. If you feel that you have to win at all costs, somebody's out to get you, walk away from it. Ain't nobody worth sticking around if that's all they offer is competition and fighting and arguments. It's time to start new. Put it to death. Like I said, that's the only way you're going to be able to transmute that energy, is to walk away from it, because who cares what happened? Who cares, right? If you didn't even really want it to begin with, if they weren't even worth your time to begin with, who cares? Take your little dog, your cat, your fanny pack, whatever it is, and just bounce forward, there is something that needs to be healed, but if this isn't giving you what it is that you want, then why are you even worried about it? What are you fighting for? Leave it behind, right? Sometimes we don't even remember why we were fighting to begin with. That's the funny part. We were fighting because we were traumatized at some point in our life, and we're still fighting for something, and we don't even know why we're fighting anymore. Why? Why does it even matter, right? Yeah. And it's kind of exactly what I was saying. What needs to be healed is something that happened to you as a child, is what I'm getting. Something that, because of it, has triggered you to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, but has wounded you in the process. You felt like you needed to fight for something. You always felt like you needed to be in competition for something. You always felt like you had to be bigger and badder and better than everybody else. And all it's done is put you in a place to where now you feel like you can't do better. You're just like, I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep living this way and not change anything. But in all reality, it has to be healed. And that's what you're working on right now, is to heal that. I do see it. Which is going to bring in this new love for you. Let's see. And I've seen love all around the board for you here. But it looks like maybe finally you're going to come to the place to where you can accept it. But again, it's going to be your choice. Do you want this security? Do you want this stability? The infinity loops around this Two of Pentacles. It's bringing that balance. Like, yes, keep your head on your shoulders. Yes, investigate what you're getting yourself into. But if it looks good and it feels good and it brings something to your life, then take the chance, and if not, then repeat the cycle, but it's up to you. It just looks like this month is going to really be a time of slowing down, getting to the bottom of it, and moving forward like the dang fool. And I'm sorry I got lengthy on these ones. It looks like, I don't know which planet's in retrograde, but it looks like there's a lot of shadow work needing to be done for the collective as a whole. Because it's like, in order to bring in these connections that are trying to come in, there's a big wave of connections I feel that are going to be coming in. And in order to bring them in, the shadow has to be dealt with. Because a lot of people they have commitment issues and, okay, you get 2 cards. Just things that, in order for something to be successful, or in order for the abundance to come in, things are going to have to be adjusted, because we might not even recognize it if it's given to us sometimes without dealing with that. And it says, boogeyman bullshit. Release your fears. Yeah. What are you so scared of? If love scares you, imagine what hate would do. And then it says, fucking Mercury retrograde. And we are in the shadow period of it right now. So, time to take personal responsibility. Eee. So, killing your fears and taking responsibility for whatever part you played in this heartache. Because we've all played a part at some point, Whether it be repeating something or doing something to somebody else that was done to us. Hurt people. Just happens that way. And it says your dreams need a practical plan. Yeah, whatever it is that you feel brings you security and stability, and whether it be love or money or whatever, you're going to have to take the time to just put in the work. Slow and steady wins the race. If you keep rushing, you're going to end up, right back where you started from. Meditate and contemplate. New moon in Pisces. Very, very telling too, because meditating and contemplating, it's going into the slow and the steady. Go watch some fish, do something that's calm and natural and brings you a peace to where you can think correctly. Because if you constantly in the spinning world, the world's going to spin in your head, the world's going to spin around you. Your brain cannot constantly keep up with all the information that you're putting into it. So once you slow it down, it might help you figure things out a little bit better. Like I said, don't attach to it if it's not for you, but the ones that got it, please smash the like button, subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I love you guys to the moon, stars, and Mars, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.